Hey, Soraya.
Hey, Jeff.
Happy summer.
The lovely lazy days of summer.
Yes, yes.
Phew.
And you and
All
I
right,
are
Jeff.
looking at little short vacations, so it sounds like things are maybe a little bit better. Maybe we still need to be cautious.
Look, I can only speak for myself. I'm still being cautious. My family's still being cautious. But the fact that you and I both are looking at some family vacay time, just little breaks, boy, it feels nice. And you know what's going to feel even nicer? Going back to concerts. And that's
Yes,
coming up too. So fingers crossed, we as a world will move forward and start to reclaim those parts of our lives
indeed,
that gave
indeed.
us a lot of joy. And I hope we'll get more of that. So I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to it. It's summertime. And you
yeah.
know what I do during the summer?
What's that?
I just listen to music nonstop. And today, Jeff and I have decided, how have we never done this before?
I know, I know.
Ever. Jeff and I are going to do an album focus. And Jeff, care to let everyone know what the super secret, unknown, never talked about album is?
Yeah, and this is on the heels of Steve Wynn giving us an exclusive last week talking about them going to perform this album live. So today we're talking about the Dream Syndicate, the Days of Wine and Roses. And of course, this is something that has to be talked about on our podcast. We've talked about Medicine Show, we've talked about the EP, and we'll eventually get to the others. But this album in particular is known to be one of the principal albums of the Paisley Underground. And here we are, 135 episodes into it, and we haven't done a focus on this album. What were we thinking?
You know, we were overthinking it. So we have to say thank you to Steve Wynn for letting us know, one, that that album's coming up on its 40th anniversary and it's still kick ass. Let me tell you, I was in doing research for the songs that I picked, I came across this YouTube video of one of the songs, and in the comments, written in French, says "Pour les vrais connoisseurs." It says "for the true connoisseurs," and I'm like, that's what we're talking about. 40-year-old album, still for the true connoisseurs. And thank you, Steve Wynn, for reminding us that we hadn't done an album focus on it. So, Jeff, let's get started. Hi, this is Soraya.
And this is Jeff.
Our podcast is called Paisley Stage Raspberry and Rhyme,
a podcast where the two of us play music that we like and share anecdotes and background about the tunes.
We hope you'll join our conversation. And without further ado, a grooviar.
Let's get groovy. 40 years. Soraya, that's crazy.
And you know what? This album, okay, so 40 years since the original release, right? And then we, obviously, a few years ago, we got a beautiful remix with some remastered album with some bonus tracks not that long ago. It's been talked about a bunch, but you and I have never done an album focus, and I think it's high time. Days of Wine and Roses. And Jeff, hold that bad boy back up, because as you can see,
which version do we want?
Well, you know what? Let's start with the one that says "Hey Jeff" on the front, because Steve Wynn is that guy. Let's see, "Hey Jeff." I'm sorry, Jeff has all these. He's a completist in every sense of the word, and I bet you every single version he has is signed by Steve Wynn. Am I correct?
Not quite. So I think when they perform this album live, I'm gonna have to bring my CD copy, because I never bring CDs to get signed. It's always the LPs, but I'm gonna do that this time.
And I think it bears noting that also Dream Syndicate on their social media sent out, I believe it was today, if not yesterday, I could be wrong, nice picture of Jason Victor sitting next to Mark Walton and at the studio. So yes. New music. And I'm super duper excited to hear what that album is going to sound like, because Steve Wynn just kind of teased it. He said, yeah, you're going to know it's a, what did he say? He said, it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
different vibe. So I'm
Yeah.
ready for it. But
Yeah, who knows with these guys, right?
okay, Jeff. So let's break down this album.
Okay.
1982. Okay. And released on, the very first one is released on
Slash Ruby. So, yep, it's on Ruby. And so Ruby Records is and Slash. So,
Mhm.
yep.
This album is, as Jeff mentioned, it's a foundational record, but also I think for fans of Dream Syndicate, one of the things they should note is Steve Wynn has a pedal made
That's right.
in that, and he told us about that, and then he showed it on one of his social media accounts. He has a pedal made that looks like the album too, which every time I see the album I think of the pedal. But
That's
anyway,
right. And you can get the sounds from that album on that he played on
exactly.
his guitar, right?
Exactly. And for those of you who've listened to it, you know very well. But for those of you who may not have listened to it as much, there's a lot of playing with sound, distorting sound, and bringing up, bringing down. I mean, there's a lot going on in this album. And so when you think a 40-year-old album, can it really hold its own 40 years later? Absolutely. It still holds strong. And I think it's because it was so different at the time that it came out. And then so Jeff, since you've got all the albums there, just let's break it down. Producer and the producer of the album.
Okay, so Chris D is the producer. The band at the time was Steve Wynn, of course, on guitar and vocals, Dennis Duck on drums, who the two of them have always been in the lineup for Dream Syndicate.
Right.
But the original guitar player, Carl Percoda, lead guitar, and Kendra Smith on bass, and she sings a song on this record.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
look at this, Soraya. It was recorded September of 1982, released a month later, October 28th, 1982. So can you record an album 1 month and release it in physical format? That can't happen today. You can't press an album in
I
six
mean,
months or less.
you know better than me because you've been in a band that's actually released a physical album. I cannot imagine something turning around that fast.
Yeah, that does not happen today. The
But
pressing plants are backed up for sure.
but then again, we're talking about Dream Syndicate, and you know, things happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, digitally you can do that if you want to just put it on Bandcamp, right? I can record it today and put it on Bandcamp by the end of the
Today
day.
it makes
But
more sense, but in
but
1982, thinking of the supply chain, between the recording and getting things mixed and then getting it pressed and then, all the just to show you, I guess, different time, different band, or maybe it was like the right moment, right band, right systems in place, and then
yeah,
boom.
they did it. They did it. And
Yeah.
Soraya, did you know? I was looking online about this record, and are you familiar with Blender magazine? As a music
Mhm.
magazine, Blender, or entertainment magazine. They listed this album in November 14th, 2007. They listed this in their top 100 greatest indie rock albums ever. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like number 99 out of 100?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top 100 indie rock albums of all time. As you know, in their 2007.
Says a lot. Says
Yeah.
a lot about the impact of this album, but also what this band did at that time. That lineup, you and I will have on our forever unicorn list Capricorn
Yeah.
and Kendra, but we also respect their privacy, and but I would, those are two people that I would love to sit and chat with, but you and I right now can just guess, but that lineup really did different things. And This album is unique in a lot of ways. And I think how Dream Syndicate comes out, what they provide on this track, on the original. Jeff and I are only talking about the 1982 pressing, because if we were to go into bonus tracks, which I have a tendency to do, it can go a lot lengthier, but we're going to stick with the original pressing. But yeah, this is a really different, unique album. And when we think about the Paisley Underground Foundation, this is really a different album. I mean, Rain Parade is very different. Their sound is very unique, very different from 3 O'Clock, from Dream Syndicate, from Bangles. So, you know, there's a lot to unpack on this album. And Jeff and I have only picked 4 tracks.
That was hard, Soraya. That was so hard for me.
It was like picking your favorite, I don't know, your favorite friend.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Who do I want to take to the show with me? Who's my plus one?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But we did it. We you know, we almost got to the point of rock, paper, scissors, but, you know, to like see who could pick this one song versus another. But I think in all honesty, though, Jeff, you said it best. There's not a bum song on this album. It's a good listen, start to finish, side A, side B. And the original album is only 8 tracks. So we picked half the album. The rest is up to y'all.
Yeah.
And then I started looking at them. Oh, we've talked about that song. That's like we've handpicked.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we're actually going to talk about the album. So
yeah. So I think 9 songs, right? 5.
Did I make a mistake?
I think it's 5 on side A, 4 on side B.
Okay, I'm gonna double check my numbers simply because I was reading quick. But anyways, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So you know what I did, Soraya, to
what did you
pick my 2, to help me pick my 2? Because I seriously, I mean, I've listened to this over the last week a number of times, and every time a song comes up, I'm like, no, this is going to be my song. And then the next song plays and I'm like, no, this is going to be my song. So what I did is I narrowed it down. I said, okay, I'm going to pick 1 from side A and 1 from side B. So that helped a little bit, but then the same thing happened. So I started playing. So the first song that I went with, I figured the easiest way for me to do it is start off with a lead off track, because
why not?
That's my thing, and it's a great song. So the first song's Tell Me When It's Over, and it's one of the more, I don't know if I can use the word pop for Dream Syndicate, but compared to some of the others, it's the most pop song on the album, I would say. I don't know. So it's a mid-tempo song. I like the lead guitar part on it, and it's just a great way to start off the album, I think. And all of these songs are great. I am looking forward to this live performance when the Dream Syndicate will be playing 3 of the newest albums, and then they're going to be doing this album in full. And just the way that the track starts off with the drums and the lead guitar, it's just, I'm already getting chills thinking about seeing this live. So it's one of the songs that they commonly play live. It's one of the more popular tracks from Days of Wine and Roses, but it's a great way to start the album. So I had to narrow it down to something. So Tell Me When It's Over is my first pick.
Awesome.
Let's play it.
Go.
Yeah, it's really a
Do you like that for starting off an album?
That is a strong start.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
And I wasn't sure when you said this is kind of the more popish song,
It's
and
a stretch.
I was thinking about it, but as I hear it, you know, I can see where you can absolutely say that in comparison to the other 8 tracks. And yes, 9. I'm always wrong. I'm always wrong, so I defer to you. And yes, it's 9 tracks. But yes, I can see that. I can see that. And I think it is worth noting 3 O'Clock does a beautiful cover of this on the 3x4 album. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a killer cover of this song.
yeah,
But um man, the guitars on this song are just insane.
yeah, absolutely.
So stinking good. Really
Mm-hmm.
kind of elevate it to whole, I don't know, it's a really cool psychedelic sound, but still has its foot in modern music, you know.
Well said. Yeah.
But damn, Paul Pacoda, why
Yes.
don't you want to talk with us? I have so many questions.
Indeed, indeed.
But anyways,
So, how did you work through your process of picking 2 songs?
I took it from I've got 9 tracks and I need one from each side.
Oh, you did the same. Okay.
Yeah, I did have that because I said to go just on, in the past I've been exclusive to one side of the album because that's the side of the album that I've enjoyed. But I think this album is, because it is so strong, I had to pick one from each side. So my pick, as always, I like to follow Jeff. And I picked track 2, and it's a song called Definitely Clean. The thing about this song is, okay, so you start out with Tell Me When It's Over. And then this song starts, and it's a completely different vibe. The sound is very different. It's much more of a driving sound, punkish, if you will. And then, Steve Wynn writes some good songs. So I like this because it's all about like, I know you're lying. So right now I'm just waiting for you to come clean. And this line is the line that I like. Is that I'm just standing here waiting for you to come clean. I'd ask you what you want, but I don't think you know what I mean. And so I'm all, this is about like, you're being shady. So you better step up. But it's a really good song. I love the distortion at the beginning. It's like you're not exactly sure where you're going to go. And then it just comes at you with guns ablazing. I mean, this song just throws everything at you. So Definitely Clean, Dream Syndicate.
I'm just standing here waiting for you to come clean. I'm just standing here waiting for you to come clean. I'd ask you what you want, but I don't think you know what I mean. Oh, something happens and they call you on the telephone. Something's missing and you know they won't leave you alone. I'm not worried about you, why you worried about me? I'm not worried about you, why should I be? Hey, I got a phone call from your mother and she wants to know where you've been. I got a phone call from your mother and she wants to know where you've been. I say this, well, I don't know where she's been. Something happens and they call you on the telephone. Something's missing and you know they won't leave you alone. I'm not worried about you, why you worried about me? I'm not worried about you, why should I be?
I love that ending because it's just like pow, pow, pow.
Literally, and then like, ping. It's like, okay, go.
I can imagine them just playing and be like,
And we're done. Two things really stand out. First of all, the arrangement. Kendra's playing on this song. It's pretty sick. And I just, there's something about that tone. And, I like that line. She says she wants to know where you've been. I said, well, yes. Well, I don't know where she's been. And I just like this song a lot. And to me, it's a different sound. It's one many people don't, I think, immediately say, oh yeah, that's Dream Syndicate. And the other thing is, I personally have never heard Jason Victor play this song, and I'm dying to hear him play this song because he's gonna go off. He's gonna go off on those guitar parts. I'm gonna be sitting there for like 15 minutes, and Jason Victor's still gonna be going. That's what I'm saying. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's a cool song. Cool song. Yeah. Different vibe from number one. So like this album just keeps, unveiling these different sides to the band, which I like.
Yeah. The album's very dynamic, and that's one of the reasons why I picked the second song that I picked. So the album as a whole, I think, is pretty dynamic. In this particular song, well, actually a few of the songs on the album. So we got rid of the around 3-minute songs, and now we're going into the more epic. So there's a few epic length songs that are over 6 minutes, and my next pick, which is from side B, which is Until Lately, is just under 7 minutes. And one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight the song on the episode is because since we've learned that Steve Wynn let us know that they're going to be doing the album in full, I was trying to think of some songs that they don't play as much these days. So you'll hear Tell Me When It's Over, you might hear Halloween, you might hear That's What They Always Say, maybe When You Smile, maybe Days of Wine and Roses. Those get thrown in the set lists here and there, right?
Right.
But, Definitely Clean, not so much.
Nope.
So I wanted to pick another song that we don't typically hear, but we will be hearing on this 40th anniversary of Dream Syndicate. And next year will be the 40th anniversary of this particular album. So that's why I went with Until Lately. And on YouTube, you can find a version that they did almost 39 years to the day. It was July 1982. There's a version where they're performing at Tower Records in El Toro, California.
Oh, wow.
And it's pretty great. And it's numbered as 1 of 5. So it makes me think that they opened with this track. I don't know. But it's a pretty cool version if you have time to check it out on YouTube. But so I wanted to go with this particular song. I feel like it's a dynamic song. They even throw a harmonica in towards the end. So I'm wondering if Steve's going to pull that out at the live performance. And there's not a whole lot of lyrics listed for it. I'm going to read those, but there's a lot of vocalizations that I really like.
Yes.
Yeah. And I like those about the song. But let me read the lyrics real quick. I particularly like the last part of it. It says, in my area, there's a chain of being, and the most of the attentions is paid to lower things. Around here, the rule is good faith. You choose your friends carefully and you're safe. Well, it just goes to show how wrong you can be. They say he was in a good position, a man of pride and ambition. In this world, there is one question. The harder you work, the better is your station. Well, tonight on the news, I heard them say the man in the plaza had a resume. So it's tough, right? So who knows who this particular person is, but it sounded like they worked hard and still ended up in a bad situation.
Right.
But I like the song. It to me has a very CBGB's post-punk vibe to it. The guitars are jaggedy and are overdrive on them, so they sound gritty. I like that feeling, the way the guitars are playing. And like I said, it's a very dynamic song. Clocking in just under 7 minutes. It reminds me at time of some Echo and the Bunnymen songs. So I don't know. To me, it has that kind of vibe to it, but
Okay.
like every other song on this album, it's great, and I can't wait to hear it live. So, anyways, I wanted to highlight one of the songs that don't get played as much. So, my first pick, or my last pick, the first song that we're playing from side B is Until Lately.
In my area there's a chain of being, and most of the attention is paid to lower things. Around here the rule is good faith. You choose your friends carefully and you're safe. Well, it just goes to show how wrong you can be. It just goes to show how wrong you can be. It just goes to show how wrong you can be. Because to say that he was in good position, a man of pride and ambition, until lately, oh, until lately.
Ba ba da ba 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 da ba. So it starts off all nice and jazzy, and then you end with that cacophony of guitars and
Everything.
Steve wailing and harmonica going. But yeah, again, Kendra on that bass line at the beginning, nice, smooth and jazzy, and Dennis with his little cymbals going, and then you get to all of that. It's a lot of fun. But
Oh my God.
can you imagine this one live with a new lineup?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
bring it.
we're here for every single minute of it. Oh man.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
damn good. Well, Jeff, my last pick sees your 6 minutes and 50 seconds and says, I'll raise you 32 seconds. I'm going to go for a big old blast in 7 minutes, 22 seconds on the album. I have picked the last track, The Days of Wine and Roses, and I'll tell you why. To me, this is the incredible morphing track. This song, you will never hear two versions of it the same, ever, played live. I haven't seen Dream Syndicate a whole lot live. I've seen them 3 times. All 3 times, different version. But I will say, the one time I saw it at the Paisley Underground Reunion show at the Fonda in Los Angeles, I remember, I don't know who I turned to. I want to say it was you, or it may have been Lena Litonwa. And I said, who is this guy just going berserk? And it was Jason Victor. Jason Victor did a series, yes, folks, series of guitar solos on this, and would just go off. And I'm like, he's in his own world. And to me, I remember talking about the show with my older brother who had seen Dream Syndicate back in the day. And he says, I never once saw Dream Syndicate play Days of Wine and Roses the same, no matter what show. It was always different, and it could get longer, it could get shorter. It just seems like it's one of those songs that you can continuously add to it and never subtract from it. Like you can add on, and it's never too much. It's just like, I'm going to go down this road, bam, 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 da, 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 and then go down that road, da, 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 da. Always different. And I think that's what's really unique about this song, is that many songs, like you're like, okay, all right, Guitar Hero, we're over it. We're over your solo. But this one can do a lot of stuff and never get old. At least for me. I'm sure I'm going to get like 50,000 emails now going, Soraya, you are way off. But here's the thing. This song grabs you lyrically from the beginning, and you're kind of anxious to see how this all ends. So the beginning stanza, it goes, the word from outside, and she's on the ledge again, drawing a crowd and threatening everything. I'm here wandering, just where I fit in. And then, this kind of back and forth. Everybody says, I don't care. No, I don't care. Everybody says, I don't care. No, I don't care. I'm just trying to remember the days of wine and roses. And you're like, okay, that start, I need to see how this ends. And this song just goes on and on and on, adding a chapter, and never really ending. So it's just a cool song, Days of Wine and Roses. This is a song where they all shine, because it's just like, it is a freak out, this song. Live or on the album, it's just a freak out. Yeah. So Days of Wine and Roses. Grab a snack, grab a drink, because you're here for 7 minutes and 22 seconds.
The word from outside is she's on the ledge again, drawing for persuasion. The man with the notepad wants verification. Somebody says this was my creation. Everybody says I don't care. No, I don't care. Everybody says I don't care. I'm just trying to remember the days of wine and roses. Yeah.
That song
Wow.
is just so bad.
Yeah, it is.
So good.
I'm so pumped up for this live show coming up.
Oh man. See, and I swear, Jeff, I swear, if this show gets canceled because dopes don't want to get vaccinated, I don't know. Jeff and please, Jeff and I are gonna pull total ninja move. We're gonna come and we're gonna kick you in the kneecaps.
We need
Because
to see the show.
this show needs to happen. And Jeff, please prepare your wife. We are going on a road trip. I don't care where these dudes play. We're gone.
We are
It
gone.
better. And he said the hope is that it can 40th anniversary be in LA.
Yeah.
Play.
Oh yeah.
So, but if that doesn't happen because of numbers or deltas or whatever, dude, we're road tripping it. I'm telling you, I don't care if I have to wear a hazmat suit. I'm gonna do it. Don't challenge me because I want to go to the show. I want to see these songs. But I swear to God, if anyone wants to see Dream Syndicate play this song live at the Paisley Underground Reunion Show, go to YouTube and look for the one and only Jeff Brenneman, who has lots of clips from that show. But man, this was the song to end the set because it was insane. And there are a lot of YouTubes. Like I think there's a YouTube clip of the same show, Tower Records, that you had mentioned previous. It's in a record store and they just go berserk. And it's just all over you. And you just see like the aisles of people shopping.
Oh.
How could you be shopping when this band is literally blowing the roof off the sucker? But everybody's got their own vibe. But yeah, this song kicks ass live, and it's a really cool way to end the album, and just goes all over the place. And again, I can't say enough about Kendra's playing and the guitars on this. And can we just give a lot of love to former guest Dennis Duck?
Yes.
Because
yes.
He's so sick on this album. It's so good.
The drumming is amazing. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I would be remiss for selfish reasons if I didn't bring up the 2019, I think it was a Record Store Day, the Fire America version, because
look at all that.
Yeah, all this and my name. So Pat was I've talked about this before. Pat was kind enough to list me in the thank you for the credits for helping out with the graphics for scanning my cover in. But
thank you again, Pat Thomas.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. But
yeah. I mean, yeah. No. All I was gonna say is I don't think we give Pat enough of an accolade for his work in putting together a lot of these reissues, remasters, and I mean his own work. He's got a lot of stuff in the fire. And if you don't follow Pat Thomas on social media, you should. First of all, he talks about a lot of really interesting projects that he's working on. And one thing he dropped the other day is that he's been working steadfastly, and it looks like it's going to pay off, where he'll be working with Sandy Dennis's estate.
Yes.
And some tracks are coming out, and I liked his sorry, I'm thinking in Spanish. His small aside was don't DM me, don't ask me questions, but you'll be seeing things soon. And I can only imagine the amount of authorizations and like kind of the legal hoops he has to jump through. But if you ever want to follow a guy who's passionate about music, passionate about getting the story right, and about telling various different stories, because all you need to look at is his own work for, his book, Listen Whitey, and culling together collections of the work of Black activists and Black Power anthems and songs. Trust me, don't need to go too much further than Pat.
Yeah, and tying it into Dream Syndicate, he is the expert for anything Dream Syndicate, Steve Wynn related. So.
Amen. And a guy who can sit with Steve Wynn and in a matter of days whittled down.
11 CDs worth of material.
Yikes. Woo, child. He gets a gold medal.
Indeed.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. And he's also, we've mentioned him before, that he's also working with True West on their collection. So, I mean, if you don't follow him, you should. He's on Twitter, he's on Facebook, and always posts stuff that's really interesting and thought-provoking. But anyways,
Absolutely.
but thank you, Pat, for bringing Jeff onto the thank yous of that. And, you know, how fitting, Jeff. You're a completist now in every sense of the word, because you're now connected to the Dream Syndicate release.
You know, that's a dream come true for me right there.
Dang. That's pretty awesome.
That's very cool. Very cool to me. I wanted to read one last thing before we close out, and it's the Robert Christgau review of the album that he wrote in November of '82, the year it came out. I'll just read part of it. He gave it a B+. And he says, punctuated as well as buoyed by drummer Dennis Duck, Carl Percoda shapes a guitar master's trick bag of basic chords and ungodly electric accidents into drones that won't quit. So abrasively tuneful, I get off on this album strictly as a groove, the way I get off on perfectly mindless funk like the Gap Band singles. But so you never know what Robert Christgau was going to say, but November of '82, he wrote that about this particular album. So yeah,
so be it.
Yeah,
and he gets off on it. Okay.
yeah, indeed, and gave it a B+. So I would give it much higher personally, but okay.
As I tell my students, a B+ is a very good. It's a good grade.
Absolutely.
Not to be scoffed at.
Yeah, and coming from Robert Christgau.
Yes.
A B+ is pretty darn good.
That's pretty amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it's been a while since you've had a listen, pull it out, listen to it.
Yes.
And if you've never listened to this album, I don't know, Jeff and I can't recommend it high enough. Please go get it. And it's available in a number of formats: digital, CD, and LP.
Indeed.
And if you're a completist like Jeff, you have them all.
And if you want to see it live, you'll be able to hear it from beginning to end here shortly. And it may mean a little bit of travel for some of us, but don't miss it.
Do not miss this 40-year anniversary of this album. Steve Wynn, gave us that exclusive that we could very well be hearing it start to finish live. Ay.
Yes, indeed.
I'm so excited. I'm ready.
Me too.
Oh boy. Jeff, after all of that, see, it's a good reminder. Good music is still there.
Indeed.
Waiting. And I'm glad we could revisit it. So once again, thank you, Steve Wynn, for reminding us that we hadn't done an album focus on Days of Wine and Roses, which is a kick-ass album no matter what. So mi gente, agarubiar.
Groove on, Paisley people.
She shakes